Ben Musser committed to the Virginia Tech Hokies last night. We're going to take a look at the 2027 quarterback right now, 6'2", 200 from Prince Avenue Christian in Bogart, Georgia. You guys let me know what you think about him. Any other 27 athletes you want me to take a look at? As always, we'll do that. Let's get started from the beginning here. This kid is a very good athlete. That's what sticks out to me with Ben Musser. And we watch a lot of kids, man. If you watch all my videos, all the quarterbacks that I watch, 80% of them, I'm going to say they're a good athlete. What sets Ben Musser apart, I think, from them as athletes and as runners is really just the subtleness that he runs with. It's a very subtle move he puts on this safety here. But, this turns what would have been an 8-yard gain into an 80-yard touchdown. So we'll see that show up a couple times with him in the open field. But, as a runner, I think that's really what gets you excited about having Ben Musser in your 2027 class. The athletic upside, the running upside. We're going to see it show up again later, 6'2", 200. He's got a pretty compact frame. We'll see him run with contact balance. And I love talking about contact balance when we're talking about running backs. I love it even more when we get into it with a quarterback tape. Just a physical runner. We'll see that show up a couple times. But, to me with Ben Musser, that's what I get really excited about. But he's getting recruited as a quarterback at the end of the day, not just a running back or a receiver or a guy that's going to only run the ball. We're going to have to talk about the passing a little bit. And I think the dude has a good arm. We'll see him push the ball down the field pretty easily. We'll see him, deliver with some real velocity on some of the shorter throws. But I do have an issue with his release, and I'll talk about it when we get a clean pocket because I think you can kind of see it later. But this ball hits this kid right on the chest and some real velocity on it. Also, most quarterbacks, most high school quarterbacks, especially high school sophomore quarterbacks, this ball's an interception by the linebacker. But the fact that this one hit this kid as fast as it did, turns what would have been an interception into a 12-yard gain. So really good throw on that one. Get a bit more into the athleticism stuff. This is the contact balance. This is the physicality that he runs with. Maybe not contact balance, but, definitely a physical runner. See a lot of the play extension stuff too. That's something we see a lot with these athletic quarterbacks. And he does a good job as well, keeping his eyes down the field, just being a playmaker in high school. We want that at the next level, but you'll see some kids kind of take it too far in high school. And, what works in high school does not always work in college. That's for damn sure. So we get a good video of what I don't like about the throwing motion. I don't know what I don't like about the throwing motion. I'm just not a fan. It is a sophomore in high school. We're not going to be too critical, but it just almost looks like a catapult release. I'm sure other people could see it also. I don't know what exactly it is. I'm sure you guys could tell me a bit more, but I think this is the best clip on the video. But we're going to be watching a 2027 kid that's not a 5-star. There's going to be some issues with this game. Even watching Elijah Haven, who's the highest rated prospect in the class, there's a lot of issues, and I think you're going to see him really have a better junior year film, and I think that's going to be the case with Ben Musser, really any quarterback in the country. So I definitely like him now as a sophomore, and dealing with a lot of plus athleticism and a lot of, I already touched on the subtleness as a runner. Really going to be excited to see how he develops as a passer in high school. I already think he's there as a runner. Really like what he has. We're not going to be talking about a kid with 4.3 speed, 4.4 speed, but certainly fast enough to get it done. And then, like I said, has an understanding of how to run in the open field. Real subtle cuts, I think, just runs in a straight line, like what we're getting there with him. But going to be interesting to see, when we turn on the senior year film on this channel, how much he's grown as a passer until then. But yeah, I don't know if you guys see it. Just kind of a hitch. Just a bit of a hitch. I'm sure a quarterback coach could tell me more about it, but I like it when he kind of shortens up these throws, though. You can see on some of these passes in front of him, these RPO type throws, they're out pretty quick. But that was Ben Musser. You guys let me know what you think about him. Any other 2027 players you want me to watch, please reach out. Thanks for watching.